Welcome to the PLL on ESPN, powered by Ticketmaster. Today we are in Albany, New York, where Tom Schreiber and the Utah Archers prepared to defend their 2023 championship against that man right there, Michael Sowers, and the Philadelphia Waterdogs. It's a rematch of the two best teams playing for the championship last year as they begin the 2024 season. Ryan Boyle, Paul Carcaterra, Chris Cotter with you. So glad you could join us for yet another year of the PLL. And Ryan, these two rivals get us kicked off.
Yeah, year 6 of the PLL. We've had 4 champions over those 5 years. 2 of them are on display. Championship rematch. The last 3 times these teams have played, it's been 1-goal games. These teams have coaching pedigree. They've got Canadian brick walls and cage, and they've got offenses star-studded, Cark.
Mike Sisselberger will take the draws for the Archers. For the Waterdogs, it's going to be interesting. You're going to get Zach Currier, and you're going to get Eli Goldbricht, who's a defenseman, picking up a short pull and taking some draws as well, RB.
Yeah, major rule change from last year to this year. No long pull allowed at the face-off, so we'll see how Sisselberger is able to take advantage of that.
Gorgeous day here in Albany. The 2024 PLL season is underway. Sisselberger, as you might expect, wins it to himself. Archers will be on offense for the first time.
And with the 32 clock, you've got to have a sense of urgency right after these wins.
Shot clock after the face-off win. First possession is 32 seconds, 52 seconds after that. Good defense, first turnover of the game forced by the Waterdogs.
See Liam Burns on that ground ball, 21 in purple, one of the best ground ball defenders in the league. A season ago with the 42 GBs, he is like a Hoover.
Ryan Conrad on the left wing, working on the shorty, trying to get to the middle of the field, can't get any leverage though. And they'll start again on the far wing. 15 seconds on the shot clock, so still plenty of time for Currier. Gets it behind to Sowers. This is where he's going to go to work. Got his defender going the wrong way, but the stop made by Brett Dobson.
You see the quickness by Sowers, though. He is going to be a matchup problem in this ball game, especially behind the goal at X. When he uses the back of the goal, he makes the defender think too much with their feet to match his quickness.
And with all these new faces on Archers defensively, Dobson is going to be the guy that has to step up and be steady in net.
You saw Dobson, one of the better young players in net in this league, and then for the Waterdogs, it's the veteran Ward. And he didn't have to make that save as the shot goes whistled wide from Mac O'Keefe. Dylan Ward, the veteran Canadian. There's a good look at Ward.
Big body. First in the league last year with save percentage. He is
ageless.
Big.
This is going to be an opportunity here, and Connor Fields is able to beat Ward for the first goal of the season and to give the Archers, the defending champs, the early lead.
I mentioned in the lineups the matchup nightmare Connor Fields is. He's so slippery, and when you watch him under 20 seconds in the shot clock, no one is better in the PLL than 5 in white. He uses his shoulders, he gets underneath the defender. And Ryan, what I love about this, when he jumps and he leaves his feet, he increases his angle.
Yeah, he's able to kind of reach around Ward. You can see that beautiful camera angle, somehow evading the crease there as well.
And what that does also is when you leave your feet, a goalie has a difficult time in terms of tracking not only your body language, but your stick.
Yeah. Sisselberger wins it once again.
Expect Archers to pretty much win almost every single face-off, given the fact they have Sisselberger and Waterdogs aren't dressing a traditional face-off specialist.
We saw this yesterday when a lot of these teams were practicing RB, the 32-second offense. You got to get into it quickly.
What's interesting about the face-off as well, now that there's no long pull to the face-off, a guy like Sisselberger, his presence will be felt even more because last year when you're dealing with the pull, there's that 4 or 5 seconds where you're being harassed and you're fighting for space. Now I think you'll get into your offense quicker with no pole.
Yeah, and they love to go to a 2-4 set. So a little two-man game up top, 4 guys along the middle. The outside wings will go and pick for the inside players coming out. So they'll have a set action off of most 32-second wins.
McConvey. Up top to Walker. There's the rook, Matt Brandow. Rookie out of Yale takes a shot. Saved that time by Dobson. That's 2 saves early for Dobson. He's sharp.
They've got numbers here if they want it.
Yeah, the rookie Woodward who thought about taking a shot. Instead, the shot was deflected out of bounds. In lacrosse, it's the player closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds that gets possession for his team. In this case, it's the Archers. Plenty of time, over 30 seconds on the shot clock. Amen trying to lose his defender, can't do it. Now he rolls back, gets a little leverage and scores. Great sign for the Archers. Grant Amen gets on the board early.
And that's what moving the former attackman to midfielder, that's what it affords you. His ability to invert, i.e. take his short stick defender behind the cage. Expect a heavy dose from Amen coming out of the box. He takes Scarpello behind the cage. They're playing him as a passer, Carc. So he gets to that 5-and-5 spot, the island above the cage, surveys, no help. He identifies, oh, okay, you're not gonna help me? Boom, I'm gonna go underneath and bury it.
What I loved about that move by Grant Ament is he feels the pressure from Scarpello, and he kind of times his roll. Scarpello wants to get into the body at the goal line to drive him out. It's timing those pushes, and then he uses his shoulder to slip in that inside roll. But I think this is a big piece of the Archers' offense this year with putting Grant Ament at midfield. He's going to be attacking these short sticks, and I think he's going to take it personal because teams aren't going to slide to him early because they know the book on him as being a passer. He's going to say to himself, you're going to play me as a passer, I'll beat you as a dodger.
Interesting on that face-off. Courier had an opportunity to pick up the GB. Instead, he just chucked it into the other end, forcing Utah now to have to clear it on the short shot clock. Now they're down to 15 seconds. We're going to see that strategy play out all weekend long. Ament again, this time harassed. They got to get something quickly, and they do. But O'Keefe's shot is deflected before it got to the goal. They say it got there. So if it's a fresh shot clock, waiting on the call out of bounds. It's out of bounds, though, against Archers.
And it worked because when Courier did that, he put the Archers in a spot to play quick offense. And now you're returning to your offensive end with a fresh 52 more time.
But the flip side of that is the Archers are going to have to defend fewer possessions. And I feel like with a younger, inexperienced group defensively, they might take that trade-off.
It's interesting.
McCardle. Tried to skip that pass over the defense, but it goes too high, and it's going to be a turnover against Archers.
Just real quick, let's build on that point of the 32 versus 52. Yes, I get the time difference, but I think there's also an emotional toll of just having to defend more versus fewer possessions.
Yeah, I mean, you have Warren Jeffrey back as your only starting defender. Woodward is a rookie. Cam Wires, not a ton of experience in the PLL, so you want that unit to start feeling the experience and getting accustomed to the timing of each other.
They'll have another rookie in Jack DiBenedetto from Denver in the mix. Dogs back with it on the offensive end. Here comes Sowers. Tried to use a pick, still trying to use it from Brandow, a little two-man game. Sowers the quickness, shoots. Dobson, fourth save of the game for Dobson.
He's doing a really good job of playing his angles. That Sowers shot and previously on the Brandow shot, both of them low angle, stick to the outside. Not a lot of net to shoot at based off Dobson kind of keeping that big frame.
When you watch Matt Brandow, the rookie, he led the country in points this season from Yale. He loves shooting with low angle, but this is a different monster when you're staring down a Brett Dobson.
Archers have been sharp on this end, a couple of goals early. Fields doesn't have the angle he likes. Gets it behind Amen. Got a stick on the field. Amen again goes underneath his defender and scores almost a carbon copy goal.
This is going to be a problem if Grant Ament continues to dodge at this level. The short stick Scarpello is 0 for 2 in terms of stopping him on the goal line. He feels the pressure. Inside roll me once, inside roll me twice. Grant Ament with 2 early goals. Defending champs are rolling.
Defending champs up early, 3-0 over the Philadelphia Waterdogs. And when you talk about year 6 of the PLL, one of the big stories, and maybe the biggest story of all, the fact that we're coming home. We've assigned geographic teams to the names. So today we have the Utah Archers and the Philadelphia Waterdogs starting things off. The Archers are the defending champs. We are playing in Albany, New York, so it is a home team for the New York Atlas. And we'll take a look at where these teams are going to be playing. Mentioned the New York Atlas. Boston Cannons returning. Philadelphia Waterdogs. Got the Maryland Whipsnakes changing colors as well. Carolina Chaos. Denver Outlaws make their return. Utah Archers, and then far west, the California Redwoods. And we're here in New York, so PLL's done a great job of dressing up Casey Stadium here in Albany, New York with the Atlas flags. The banners everywhere, the old school logos on the grass. Sisselberger takes the draw and wins it. That time, Jake Richard is taking the draw with Sisselberger. He's won all 4 in this game.
They had Connor Marr out on one of the wings. I don't even think, put your offensive midfielders out there to cut down on the substitution time.
You're almost guaranteed the possession with Sisselberger.
Yeah.
Mac O'Keefe directing traffic. Gets pushed behind, goal line extended. Try to force a pass inside, but this will be a shot from distance too high. And that was Matt Moore who fired. Missed the target, stays with the Utah Archers, but with just 1 second on the shot clock, they'll get a violation. Here comes Philly.
Jake Richard on that clear. That was a big free agent pickup for the Waterdogs this offseason, coming over from the Atlas to the Waterdogs, joining a deep short stick defensive midfield group.
Waterdogs have yet to solve Brett Dobson. Let's see if they can do it on this possession. Dobson with 4 saves early. Ball on the carpet. Picked up by Piper Bond.
Quint, as the Archers attack again, what are you seeing in terms of that Ament matchup?
Well, he loved his matchup early in the game. He said the Waterdogs, he doesn't sense them sliding to him, and that's why he took the inside roll. I asked him about it. He said, well, I'd love to see him double because I want to feed, but on that last possession, they put a pole on Grant Ament and put a short on Mac O'Keefe, so that there's a little adjustments going on already.
Yeah, they're replicating this again. You can see Scarpello on Mac O'Keefe.
Fields shoots and scores.
4th unassisted goal. Fields has got 2. And I think this just caught Dylan Warden dead by surprise. And he ends up using his defender, Ben Randall, as a screen. You know, he's so slippery. He goes back and forth. And as he rolls back, you can see Randall just a little bit slow to get out on his hands. He shoots right over the top and finds a sliver on that near pipe.
I think the 2 biggest matchup problems from a dodging perspective on attack in the league are in this game. Michael Sowers and Connor Fields, and they're very different. Michael Sowers will beat you with firecracker feet. Connor Fields is so slippery. I always say when you guard him, it's like defending someone who has pig grease all over him. He just gets underneath. He's so unpredictable.
Get a loose ball call. Here goes against the Waterdogs. So Sisselberger with yet another win at the faceoff dot. Trying to take it himself. And possession for Ryan Ogevin. and the Utah Archers. Here's Fields. 2 goals already for the former Albany star. Shoots between the legs.
They're going to get a moving pick, which is why that play was called dead, but then a flag down as well.
Done. The ball stays. No reset. Ball stays where it is. No reset. It stays where it is.
This is a power play unit for the Utah Archers.
I think it's matching
Archers,
penalties
16,
here, gentlemen.
Waterdogs,
Grant Damon just took
each.
a seat.
1 minute, unnecessary roughness. The ball will remain where it was with the Archers with the unexpired time on the shot clock. Unexpired time on the shot clock, 13 seconds.
Now, Matty Palem describing the situation, taking a look at it. You see Amen mixing it up with Eli Gobricht.
Yeah, the old double technical. Let's just sit them both for a minute.
Let them cool down a bit.
So we got a 5-on-5 here. And that is difficult for a team that has all of these dodgers. From a slide rotation perspective, this puts a lot of pressure on the Waterdogs because you change the set, plenty of room to dodge.
Oh, and Fields with a hat trick already. Talk about a homecoming. Coming back here to Albany, where he played for the Great Danes and set all kinds of records in college. Well, he's on pace to set all kinds of records today. The hat trick in the first quarter.
And this is all set up by the cross-field skip pass by Tom Schreiber, who slings it to Fields, and in one motion, a catch, and he puts it on net. That ultra-quick release coming off of Schreiber's feed.
You saw the pass by Tom Schreiber as well. It's incredible in terms of his through pass and the way that he sees the next layer of an offense and where seams are defensively.
Yeah, 5th in assists in last year's regular season, which as a midfielder is just absurd.
Sisselberger looking for help straight out of the box, and he gets it. So Ambler gets it behind the cage. And we've seen the Archers, who have won every faceoff in this game, doing a good job of getting into that early offense and not letting that 32-second shot clock affect them. Here we are down to 10. Ambler's going to shoot, and he shoots it wide. It'll stay with Archers, but just 8 to shoot.
Going back to that last goal, when you go 5-on-5, it puts so much pressure on a defense because you don't have the interior guy, and you have to kind of show from those bottom corners, and that's why Fields was so open when he let that one rip.
Now we want to get a clarification on shot clock because it was reset to 52, but I don't think
8
it should.
seconds.
Yeah,
8
now.
seconds need to be on the shot clock.
All right, thanks, Q. 8 seconds.
So if I'm the Archers, I'm continuing to spread the field on these 5-on-5s, but it looks like they might roll the ball out if they don't get something from Fields here.
Go!
They got something from him, and it almost worked. A little over the shoulder while he was being double-teamed.
If you're just tuning in for the first time with Connor Fields, you saw the between the legs, the behind the back. He is a wizard with the wand.
And they didn't reset it to 52 on this clear.
A whistle blown from the bench. Does Connor Fields have the home court advantage or what?
Man,
feels like
playing
he knows all his angles. This is a clock situation from the bench to head official Matt Palem, trying to sort things out.
I don't know.
You heard Coach Tierney in the background.
Welcome back, Coach Tierney. Welcome back.
Yep, wants to know what's going on. Matty
we good
Palem
to
wants
go?
to know what's going on.
Let's go.
I think we're good to go. Fresh shot clock at 52. Waterdogs with possession, but they got to do something on the other end here. Last shot in this first quarter was at the 5:36 mark, so not only is Dauber doing well in cage and not getting beat, but they're not even testing him here lately.
The penalty's released, so we're now back to 6-on-6.
Courier, double team comes beautifully. Ball on the carpet. Going to get a loose ball push, though, against Archers. Shot, score! Waterdogs finally break the ice here in Albany. And it's Ryan Conrad who gets it done.
And Conrad just wins the whistle here. You can see on that loose ball infraction, Conrad picks up the ball. He's outside the 2-point arc. He's begging the official, blow the whistle, blow the whistle. I'm ready to go. And he catches the Archers napping. You can see his stick up, like, I'm ready. No one steps out. It's a late closeout, and he buries it.
That's great awareness by the multifaceted Ryan Conrad. 15 in purple. You watch what he's able to do all over the field. And I like the fact that he knew that he even had more room to take another step or two to let that one fly.
Sisselberger again tries to get it to an offensive player coming in out of the box, and that's Amen. But the Waterdogs do a nice job of deflecting it. Can they score twice here in the final half minute?
A little too unselfish there. I feel like Courier had a pathway right to the goal. Could have been aggressive and fired that himself.
Let's see how aggressive Utah wants to be here. Dauber all the way down, picked off.
Still plenty of time.
Yeah, he can let one rip here. He does. Dobson makes that save, lets that one fly down the length of the field, but it harmlessly goes awry. Hat trick for Connor Fields. The defending champs off to a great start in their defense. 5-1 after the first quarter here in Albany. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. In Philadelphia, welcome back to the PLL on ESPN, presented by Ticketmaster as we start the second quarter.
Yeah, seeing Chris Bates win the championship last year, it was like a sense of relief.
Yes.
Like,
well, so
finally.
Close. But the fact that he did it with the superstar, Tom Schreiber, who was winning his first PLL title as well, they had the history together. You talk to people around the league, everyone loves Chris Bates, everyone loves Tom Schreiber. It's a proud moment for that franchise and the PLL.
And really mostly homegrown talent in terms of the core guys that were assigned to them at the start of the PLL, and then guys that they had drafted.
Yes.
Most out of any team in the league last year.
This, of course, a rematch of that championship game, and it pits the two last champions together because the Waterdogs won it 2 years ago.
Whistle from the scorer's table. Cotter,
What
shot
time
clock.
did we face off?
Yeah, we've got to figure out this shot clock situation.
You know, Ryan, you mentioned, too, the homegrown talent.
32 minus 12, so it should be.
Here, Rachel Juteko from the PLL talking to Matt Palem. The homegrown talent. This is the biggest challenge the Archers have faced in their 6 years with all this new defense that they have. I mean, they have two new starters at close defense, a starter at the long stick midfield position, so we've never seen
There's a violation.
this
right?
much change in this franchise. But for starters now, 1 goal against, looks all right.
Yeah, the Waterdogs have had 7 offensive possessions, 1 goal in 7 possessions. Dobson's got
2
a
seconds
handful of
on the
saves,
shot clock.
4 or 5 saves, right? I don't think Sowers has gotten the looks.
2 seconds on the shot clock. I don't know. Batesy, I know.
Well, you'll get a lot more of that this season with Matty Palem as he'll be mic'd up every game. Yeah, 5 saves for Dauber so far.
And only the 1 for Dylan Ward.
Yeah, Dobson's picked up right where he left off last year, as almost to a man. Everybody we talk to in this league knows how bright of a talent Dobson is in net as far as the future goes for him in professional lacrosse.
One of his biggest role models on the other side of the field, and Dylan Ward, who's been the starter for Team Canada. And Dobson now is the next superstar for that national team, and has so much respect for Dylan Ward and the road that was paved for him.
Let's see if the Waterdogs can build on that goal they scored late in the first quarter. Sowers. Now he's on a short. He's on Piper Bond, so he's going to love this matchup. That little hitch with the quickness. The pass up front and just couldn't make it work because that was going to be a wide open shot from the wing. Gets it back. Tough angle. Dobson makes the save. Sixth save of the game for Dobson. Conrad was going to have a point-blank shot on that first pass from Sowers. Just couldn't quite connect. Now the Archers want to go quick. Mac O'Keefe to the middle of the field. Shoots. He scores.
This is a phenomenal take by Mac O'Keefe, who has serious range but underrated dodging skills. That fake down the hash to make his move back to the center of the field completely jukes the defense, but also increases his angle. This is a part of Mac O'Keefe's game that will continue to grow. And the Waterdogs decided to short him earlier and then put the pole on Grant Ament. He's showing you, Ryan, that if you put a shorty on him or you don't maximize the defensive one-on-one matchup with Mac O'Keefe, you're going to be in trouble.
Electric wrists. He is such a threat anytime he's out there at any range. And you look at the feeders that are around him between Ament and Schreiber, right? Obviously the connection in Ament and O'Keefe going back to their days at Penn State together.
Ament pulled. Doesn't matter. They started the game shorting him. Now they're pulling him out of the box. Ament still makes him pay.
It's one thing if Grant Ament is going to beat you on an inside roll near the crease and finish. If he's winning from range, down the alley, going to his left hand, look out.
Things are going against you in that regard. Everything's going Utah's way right now. That lead is 6 early.
I mean, this is low angle. Stick on the outside of those football hash marks.
5-hole on Dylan Ward.
Yeah, that is a serious rip on the run. I'm so impressed with Ament's assertiveness in this matchup, right? The Waterdogs have made it clear they are not sliding to him. And everyone under the sun knows Grant Ament is an elite passer, but he also has the quickness and the two-handedness to make defenses pay. And what's impressive about his dodging today, he's using his body around goal line extended. That's like a traditional midfield on the run sweep. He is feeling it.
15 to shoot now for Archers. Ambler. Schreiber back to the middle of the field, ducks under the defender. Beautiful pass to O'Keefe, just can't finish it. He's in the crease. Everything but the finish on that play.
That was some filthy little stick work, everything but the finish. And the issue for Waterdogs is if you're going to put a short stick on O'Keefe, he's just going to go and set a pick for the ball. And he's masterful in the two-man game. You saw him with Schreiber there. They get the switch. All eyes go on Schreiber, and O'Keefe just backdoor cuts his man to the middle of the field.
And that's really smart offense, too. The shorty is doing the pick for the switch, right? It's the next level of the two-man game.
Sowers to McCardle. McCardle scores.
They needed this. They needed this to stop the bleeding. They needed to get their two studs on offense, McCardle and Sowers, and this is the hallmark of the Waterdogs offense, is these two guys working in concert. You can see just a little too much separation. McCardle does a beautiful job of just backing away, creating some separation. Once he has that airspace, Sowers quickly gets him the ball.
Michael, it's Kark up in the booth. Offensively, what does this unit need to do to get really clicking?
I think just keep doing what we're doing. I mean, Divers made some great saves. I think we're getting decent looks. We just, little first game generous, per usual for us, but we'll be all right.
What about for you in terms of a one-on-one matchup? What are you seeing?
I think within the flow of our offense, I could definitely take my runs.
Appreciate that, Michael. Under the helmet, powered by Cash App. Sisselberger, he's won all 11 faceoffs. He can shoot, and he scores! Well, that's one way to beat the 32, is to just have your Fogo take the shot and score. And frustration for Sabia and the Waterdogs as he comes up banged up a little bit. Utah's really, not only have they won every faceoff, but they've made good on that 32-second clock. That's always the scare, the frightening thing with it.
The rule change eliminating the long pole from the faceoff unlocks this potential. Sisselberger wins the draw, goes right to the rack. You can see Sabia sliding upfield just a hair late. And Sisselberger able to get that on net. Ward struggling in cage here.
He is. To kind of expand on what you mentioned with unlocking, in the past when you had a long pole that was able to be part of the face-off scenario, that could have been Rylan Reese. And if Rylan Reese is defending Michael Sisselberger, it is twice as hard to get past that pole and Rylan Reese, a guy who knows how to play defense and can play the physicality type perspective of the game and has a 6-foot pole. Now it's instant offense. Sisselberger wins the 32-second shot clock. You're thinking going to the goal and getting separation from a short stick.
And Archers do a better job than anybody else on the 32 in just terms of immediate sense of urgency. Go right to the goal.
O'Keefe, 2-point goal, deflected before it got to Ward. Flag down. Let's check the marker.
Waterdogs foul number 27, 30-second technical interference.
You're going to see this off-ball Richard pushes, shoves, cross-checks his matchup. That's the infraction. You can see right to the right of your screen, just a headlock, maybe a little bit of a sales job there.
Worked.
That looked like a flop.
Yeah.
Looked like a flop from the Waterdogs bench, I'll tell you that much.
Watch Mac O'Keefe
Soccer
here.
flop.
Watch O'Keefe here, #1 in the league a season ago with 6 power play goals. 7 in white, can hammer it.
There he is up top. Leclerc, 44, can also shoot from distance. Schreiber. That shot looked like O'Keefe was uncertain about it, and it got deflected. Tracked down by Utah, though. 25 seconds still to shoot, so plenty of time. Quick ball, movement deflected. Fields does a nice job of shielding the defender to pick it up.
Penalties released, back to 6-on-6.
See what Fields he wants to do here on Randall. Now the help comes Ambler, looking for someone to pass it off to, and instead, Amen is just going to let the shot clock wind down, and they'll sub out.
Cotter marked that penalty kill for the Waterdogs because it got their defense moving. They were moving, they were contesting shots. They were just more active on defense. Let's see if that spurs a turnaround for the Waterdogs defense.
Yeah, good point at the midway point of this second quarter, trailing by 6, killing off that man down. Now they got it on the offensive end. Kelly shoots off the mark.
The other thing this Waterdogs offense relies on is transition. One of the best teams in transition last year. That comes off Ward saves, and they were second in the league in caused turnovers. We haven't seen much of that at all in the first half.
Fantastic save by Dobson.
What's impressive to me is I feel like this offense for the Utah Archers is allowing this defense to take a breath, right? The veteran leadership of their offense in controlling the tempo of the game with 2 new starters at close, letting them get acclimated to PLL style play.
Kelly, as they're getting rough with Pedersen, getting rough with Kelly. He's already got a flag down. This is going to be a call against Archers. So a delayed call here. Waterdogs trying to take advantage before the whistle. Sowers. Yeah, a little pushing and shoving as well. We talked about this rivalry. Now McCardle comes in. No love lost between these two teams.
Gotcha. Fouls on Archers, number 20, 30-second technical, hold, media timeout.
Call's going to go against Cam Wires. Young man out of Loyola, he'll have a seat. And we'll take a break. Philly on the power play when we come back, but trailing by 6 early.
The hashes, whether it's Fields, Ament, and meanwhile the Waterdogs have taken a lot of shots from the wings, and Dobson, you got to move this keeper. He's sensational.
Well, now with an opportunity here with a man up for 30 seconds to dig into this disadvantage.
You're good. Sticks up.
McCardle on the near side. Up top to Kelly.
Base. Rolling off here. You're good.
Skip it. Caraway, the extra one on the far side. Walker can shoot. Instead, they make that one extra pass, and they beat Dobson man up. That looked like Kelly on the far side who got the goal.
Beautiful ball movement. This power play unit last year was 7th in the league. Watching them practice during training camp, better spacing, better player movement, better ball movement. You're gonna see them, that skip unlocks the defensive rotation, and Connor Kelly, he works up the hash. So you can see him getting upfield. That increases his angle and allows him the separation to get his hands free and bury it.
And you look at Connor Kelly, who's one of the best hired guns in the PLL in terms of his shooting. Was late on that rotation, the rookie from Marquette, who I think has tremendous upside, but the ball's spinning at a different level. When you're a rookie defender and you're the next man in the rotation, 77 in white, we'll get used to that hyper speed.
O'Keefe, the bouncer, scores.
Another shot directly in front of the cage. That's what Quint talked about when we went down to him on the sideline. It's all set up by another two-man game between O'Keefe and Ambler. Ambler, who plays with a ton of energy, comes flying off this pick. You can see the two Waterdog defenders stay with him. He throws back to O'Keefe, and who just parts the Red Sea. There's just some separation there. He cuts right down the teeth of the defense and finds space in the 5-hole.
There's some deception on that release, too, by O'Keefe, who has it in the left hand, up top by his ear. That subtle little twister. But it looks like the Waterdogs, the guys in purple, a little discombobulated defensively and not playing the pick game efficiently.
Now the Waterdogs with an opportunity, a rare opportunity in this game off the faceoff. Courier gets hammered, and now we're going to get the flag.
He got crushed, Cotter, after the shot's released.
High, late, and from behind. They're going to get bombed here.
Does this come under the category of defenseless player?
You know better than that. Archers 54. 1 minute. Illegal body check from behind. Unnecessary roughness.
Let's take a look at this one. This was a pop by the second-year pro out of UPenn. That's from the rear. I don't think it was by the head. I think you saw his head kind of get that whiplash type of movement because it was up by his
right
upper area in the back, below the neck.
1 minute man-up situation for the Dogs. Tried the pass inside, didn't work. Now Kelly on the far side again to Walker. Dobson makes the save.
You know, this was a unit, as Ryan mentioned, that was 7th in the league in power play. Shouldn't be, because they have the pieces to a puzzle. You got passers in McCardle and Sowers, lefty stretch shooters in Walker, righty stretch shooters in Caraway and Connor Kelly. Like, this unit should be clicking.
Sowers. Directing traffic in front of him. Looking for Conrad on the crease. Instead, they go back up top. McCardle will get a good look.
They got a reset on it. It hit, kind of clipped the back of the net. If you're thinking twos at all here, the Waterdogs got some bombers from the outside.
You watch Caraway, 19 and 40 Kelly.
That's who they've got up top right now. Dobson goes high and makes the save.
He's something else, and he takes up a ton of the cage, too. He's a big body, and we're looking at it from this angle, right, where these shooters are letting it spray. There's no black net to be seen here. I mean, he just does a phenomenal job of eating the cage.
Made 10 saves already today.
That's been a big story in this game. Dylan Ward still sitting on 1 save in 10.
Amen. He's had a great game with a hat trick so far. Picked up by O'Keefe, who's also had a great game. Tries the pass inside. Will get it inside the crease. Violation. That's going to go against Utah. Will go the other way.
You can see Waterdogs normally get out and run. They're just slow there on that turnover. And meanwhile, Archer's substitute behind the play. They've got Ambler caught on defense here. I would expect them to try to exploit that matchup. 13 in white.
Dobson just too good.
You got to be smarter. You got to be ruthless. If you've got an offensive midfielder trapped after a long possession, you've got to attack that matchup.
11 saves for Dobson.
Not only did you have him trapped, he was on Ethan Walker, an attackman.
9-3 our score. Utah with the lead over Philadelphia. Let's take a 30-second laundry break. We'll be right back.
Tom, it's Kark up in the booth. Why is this offense clicking so well today? Looks like we're having some technical difficulties with Tom Schreiber. We'll get to him soon.
Yep, Under the Helmet is powered by Cash App. We'll check in with Schreiber a little bit later. It is clicking, though. He'll have an opportunity to add to it here with 2:37 left to go in this first half. Leclerc on the run. O'Keefe trying to lose his defender. Now he's got the shorty on him. Back to Fields. Waterdogs #1 defender, Randall on him. Now they do the big little. He's got the short stick on him. Now help comes in the form of Burns. Still Fields. Double teamed, gets the pass off to the wing, but Amen can't handle it as the shot clock is winding down.
And for all of his wizardry, that's the one knock on Connor Fields. Sometimes the ball just kind of gets stuck in his stick. He needed to get rid of that quicker. Even if you have the matchup, get rid of it and then get it back real quick so the defense has to reorient.
Got to live with some of those.
Yeah.
He's still the best Dodger in the game with 10 seconds or less with the shot clock and the magical stick work and some of the things that he's able to pull out of nowhere. But to your point, Ryan, sometimes the ball doesn't flow at that level, but that's what you have with a high-volume Dodger.
Walker misses the target. A lot of misses today for the Waterdogs. That's been a part of it as well. The shot's on cage. Dobson's been able to handle, and that one misses as well.
The Waterdogs are going to make a run at some point in this game. That's going to happen. Can they cut this margin down just a little bit to have some momentum riding into halftime?
Another timeout on the field as we want to fix a clock issue.
What is the clock issue? These typically favor the defense in terms of getting organized. I've been really impressed with the Utah Archers. Remember, the new faces. You know, they lost like 4 key defenders off this unit, and they've been tied together. They've been communicating. They lost their leader, McMahon. They lost their best cover guy, Hossack. You'd never guess by the type of product they're putting on the field right now.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Grant Ament this morning, talked about how McMahon, the big thing about McMahon was how he was the glue guy, RB. He was the one who directed all the traffic, and I think that's very underrated in this league, having that guy.
Just as important as your top on-ball cover guy, who's organizing the slides and recovery behind the scenes. That's a big shoes to fill. And then Hossack, obviously, you know, former defensive player of the year. He was the enforcer. He was the guy.
Complete buzzsaw.
He was the guy that was like, if you
he
got
would
hit,
engulf you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, when you have a third-year pro like Dobson, this is like the next step for him to be the leader, right? Now you're missing all these pieces. He's got 11 saves in the first half. He is taking the bull by the horns, and he is unequivocally taking control of this part of the game. And the other aspect of this defense allowing them to grow up is the offense is so smart with the ball.
All the focus on the championship game last year was Tom Schreiber's game-winning goal. Dobson had a game-winning save.
Yes. Breathtaking.
Breathtaking, that hit off his plastic. It wasn't even a clean save. It was a two-pointer. So that would have been a game winner. He had a game-winning save to seal the deal.
He had
that
18,
often goes overlooked.
And 18 in that game, and he's got 11 so far today in the first half.
That was a season high from a year ago, and he looks like he's going to break that today. But I think a lot of times athletes, maybe they don't want this opportunity where you're losing all of these guys defensively, but this is the moment in time in his career where he can emerge as a complete game changer, right? You have to be put in these spots sometimes to get the best out of your play.
All right, now Matt wants to have a word with our two coaches, so Bates and Tierney come to midfield.
Our problem is the shot clock. It's not the operator. The thing is skipping around on us. So at 22 seconds, we're going to put 22 seconds on the shot clock and 1:32 on the game. We're going to do a do-over because that's our only choice. It's our only choice to do this correctly. So we're going to go back to the point where the shot clock screwed up and play from there.
I want to make my point now. We dropped from 42 to 32. Why can't we go do that one again, too? We had to screw up on
I'm doing the best I can with it. I know. I get it.
I'm giving them a do-over. I'm losing 12 seconds on the left.
I got you.
Sounds like my dad growing up. I'm doing the best I can, right?
Palem.
I get it.
I mean, Palem is having to.
I got you.
For those new to the PLL, there is not a more colorful ref.
Oh, no.
So that's what we're going to do. Back to the screw up.
No.
And
what we were waiting for was the interaction between Bill Tierney, who loves that kind of that chess match with the officials. It's been a lot with Bates.
Right, well, in this
Professor
particular
Bates.
case, it doesn't exactly benefit Bates as he get the do-over now with the Waterdogs on the offensive end.
Gotta love a do-over, Coach. Gotta love a do-over.
No, I don't have to love a do-over. If you give me a do-over to the same play, like the last possession, the same thing happened to us. So I wanted a do-over there.
What comes around goes around, I guess.
Yeah, Bates wants to get the advantage back on his side as we have a timeout on the field. Waterdogs calling the TO. The use it or lose it timeout. Minute 36 left to go in this first half. 9-3, Utah with the lead. We've had some clock issues, so it's been a choppy first half. So we'll get a restart here. Shot clock is going to be put to 52, I imagine. Yes, it is.
This is the 14th possession for the Waterdogs of this game, so they're 3 of 14. And your goal is going to be about 1/3 efficiency.
Another whistle on the field.
Quint, how would you describe what's going on with the clock down there?
Choppy. You know, week one, everybody's knocking off the rust. And there was a power outage pregame here downstairs that caused that head table some issues. So I think this is a residual effect of that power outage. It's pretty hot down here too. It's been a really cool week. Temps about mid-80s. The sun is baking and shining off this turf. Typical week one issues, I believe.
They're going to go down to 22, I believe.
Go!
That's it. Now we're ready to go. 22 seconds for the Waterdogs. 22 with the ball in his possession. Shorty on him. Piper Bond doing a nice job staying in his back pocket, though. Kelly shoots the bouncer too high.
That was elite defense by Bond, the second-year pro out of UPenn. It looked like the Waterdogs wanted to support that matchup. They didn't have to. Bond with some elite footwork and the ability to play the body on Sowers.
Dobson got a piece of that. That was an incredible save on a high bouncer.
32.
Yep.
Wow.
And that's the right call. Should be reset to 32. To your point, Q, Dobson got a piece. It is at 52 now.
32, manual. 32, it's manual.
Yep. At this point in time, we may just have to start using the officials' handheld shot clock. Sowers didn't need a shot clock that time as he got a step on his defender, but Dobson is just shutting the door on him.
That was robbery. That was robbery. Dobson on the doorstep against Sowers. Not all saves are created equal. Sowers couldn't believe that one didn't fall for him.
Augerman shoots. Ward makes the save. That's good for Ward as we finish up this first half. Maybe that'll give him some confidence in the second half. Witcher picks up the loose ball.
Hey, last possession here.
Now Sowers settles him in. 20 seconds to play in this first half. The rookie Brandow fires a shot wide. 11.8. McCardle coming upfield. Shoots. Dobson makes the save. Loose ball in front though, score! With just 1.7 left to go, Piper Bond couldn't squeeze it. And that was Matt Brandow scoring his first PLL goal.
You're dealing with a brick wall and cage. Dobson has been unflappable, but the rebounds are an opportunity, and the rookie, Matt Brandow, who's a bit of a chameleon offensively, picking up that loose ball and finally solving Brett Dobson.
It looked like an Archer's defender crossed into Dobson's path. I think he actually screened him on that play.
Horn sounds to end the first half. Maybe a little mo for Philly, as Brandow's goal closes the gap to 5, and the defending champs with a 9-4 lead at the break. Quint Kessenich's down in the field. Q, are they still working on this clock issue?
Yeah, they're discussing it right now. The head coaches, Bill Tierney was kind of late to come out to the field. The Waterdogs' first half was well below par for them. 4 goals on 15 possessions. Connor Kelly talking about how they've just got to beat their man on the perimeter and then get the ball moving. You think about the possessions. There have been very little east-west or north-south ball reversal, and that's left Mikey Sowers in some unenviable dodging positions. I think he can win this matchup today and cause havoc, but they got to get him the ball off of some movement.
Sisselberger, who owned the face-off dot in the first half, continues it, and it's really Courier just letting him have it and then playing defense in the middle of the field.
It's his 14th win of the afternoon, 14 saves for Dobson, creating runs with Sisselberger, stopping them with Dobson.
So it's the 32-second shot clock now that the Archers have to deal with to start this second half, meaning they got to get into the offense quickly. Tough pass to handle, was low. Moore fed it, but Ambler couldn't pick it up. Now here comes the Waterdogs. Let's see if they can get some transition going. It's been a staple for them, but they haven't gotten anything going today.
Great deflection there by Robbins, 41 in white, causing that turnover.
Robbins goes back and gets the ball.
His play will be big this season with Jared Connors in a trade to the Redwoods. John Robbins is going to be asked to make those types of plays in the gray areas.
Fields on the shorty. See that dodging prowess, but the help comes with the double team. Skip. And it's just too hot for Leclerc to handle.
Didn't love the Archers off-ball spacing as Fields was cooking on this near side. Too many players right next to each other. Fields didn't really have anywhere to go.
Kelly. Working on Piper Bond, now behind the cage. That's McCardle. Loses his defender, fakes the pass and shot. Dobson is there. Now quickly the outlet to Connor Marr.
Watch the trailer here.
Good look in the middle. Extra pass, Bond. Quick offense. Ward makes the save. Fantastic passing by the Archers that time, but Ward was just too tight on the near pipe.
Good job by Marr after securing that ground ball. Now let's pull it out, get our full complement of offensive personnel on the field with a full shot clock.
You're right, because of that save, they get the full 52, so it's advantage for the Archers for sure. Amen. You saw Liam Burns coming over to him. Ogden takes a 2-point shot. Ward, no problem. Saw it all the way.
Didn't love that take by Ogden.
Loose ball in the middle of the field. Initially, it looked like Moore was going to be able to pick it up. Bodies colliding. Now Moore saves it. Nice job to get it to Amon on the far side.
A Houdini act to avoid an over and back there at the midfield line.
2-point shot. Archers increase their lead. Hundy on the radar, and it's the largest lead of the afternoon now for Utah.
Gas. This is pure gas. This is Tom Schreiber's first shot of the afternoon. The offense is clicking for the Utah Archers, and this is right on the line too. And I mentioned in the open, the magical wrists of Tom Schreiber behind the arc, pounding it.
It was only a matter of time before we felt his presence. Like we said, 9 goals, only 1 assist. You alluded to that being his first shot of the game. It wasn't like they were going to hold him under wraps the entire time. So scary thought if you're a Waterdogs fan to give up 9 and for Schreiber to have a quiet first half.
Do you see how quick that release is, though? The top hand speed. It's frightening. You know, it's like a quarterback. Like when you look at like a Patrick Mahomes or a player that can just that top hand speed and the wrist to get the ball out. The goalies can't react in time.
The reigning MVP puts the reigning champs up 7. Fields. Slide comes over the back shot. Score! The pass was over the back. The shot was just heat from Leclerc.
And this is bad defense by Waterdogs. This is creating offense. If you're going to slide to Connor Fields, who's not really a threat where he is, don't do it from Tom Schreiber.
Yeah, no.
Don't do it from the adjacent player who is Tom Schreiber. And once Fields gets this double team right there, he quickly moves it, and then the slickness of Schreiber in one motion, a catch, and behind the back with a little touch so Leclerc can then uncork one. Beautiful offense by Archers to exploit, frankly, an unnecessary double team by Waterdogs defensively.
You know what I love about that? When you're a young buck and you start playing the game of lacrosse and you're understanding the concepts of offense, it's always draw the slide and then it's the 2-away. Tom Schreiber knows it's the 2-away. So he's throwing that behind the back pass, knowing that the next man in the rotation is Trey Leclerc. He's 2 away from the initial slide.
Waterdogs get one back, and it's Witcher who finds the back of the net.
You look at the short sticks from Waterdogs. Historically speaking, they have been productive on the offensive end. Transition is such a big part of their game. Witcher had 5 goals last regular season. Beautiful find there, and Witcher does a good job of just basically crashing the crease. And by doing so, you force the defensive hand. Either you cover him, in which someone else is open around the perimeter, or you're wide open right on the doorstep.
And we're not seeing the transition from the Waterdogs for 2 reasons. They're not winning faceoffs, and they're not making stops. Dylan Ward has 4 saves on the afternoon. They've won 1 faceoff, so you're not seeing those 2-way midfielders flush out from the defensive end to create offense.
Right on cue. Clark, the face-off win for the Archers, but now they got to get into the offense. See, just subbing in right now with 15 seconds left to go on the shot clock. That's the disadvantage of winning every face-off. Ament's got to make something happen. Instead, he just rolls the ball with 2 seconds to shoot. Fields lets it go, but that's not a great offensive possession.
Ooh, that was a close run out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, Ryan, I feel like that was the first time, though, off a face-off win, they had a really rush in their offensive set. They've been able to flush out and get Sisselberger off the field or starting offense much quicker.
Yeah, they play with urgency off those face-off wins, and Coach Bates, one of the best schematic coaches, and Kavanaugh runs the best box in the league. They're ultra efficient with those sub-games, but I am a little surprised they haven't put an offensive midfielder on the wing.
Yeah, they had Bond over here. I was going to ask you about that. If you're winning every single face-off and the Waterdogs are pretty much conceding those to you, why would you have a D-Mitty out there on the wing?
Great question, Cotter.
It's the way they're working it right now, and it seems to have worked for them.
And that's where they miss Challen Rogers a little bit. Yeah, he's injured out today, but he's a 2-way guy that affords him that flexibility.
Jeffrey couldn't get a shot off. Gets it to Piper Bond. Now Bond settles everybody down and says, let's just chill for a moment, get some substitutions in, including that guy right there, the reigning MVP, Schreiber.
It's a great hustle by Ryland Reese. Waterdogs now playing without Chris Sabia. Cotter, you remember he got hurt?
Yes.
His right knee is on ice. He's done for the day.
Dang, that is not good for them. These teams, they only have 19-man rosters. They don't have a whole lot of depth if they get an in-game injury. Amen. That ball picked off as he tried to get it to Fields. Here comes Randall.
Watch Reese from 2.
Sowers, head up. That shot from Liam Burns too high.
Yeah, excuse me, that was Burns.
That will never fall against Dobson the way he's playing today. Even if that's on cage, there's no shot that is beating 45 and white.
But you got to catch that a little bit deeper beyond the 2-point arc so you can have a bigger crow hop leading up to it.
Sowers. Miscommunication from the defense, and that leaves Sowers wide open to find Connor Kelly on the doorstep.
He knows. He knows the eyes are on him. When Michael Sowers is up top in the offensive set, ready to dodge, the slide will come. 22 in purple needs to make his presence felt. The switch is late. Connor Kelly knows. When Michael Sowers has the rock, he will deal, and you need to can it.
Cash Hat powering athletes under the helmet. Tom Schreiber, 12-6 the lead for his Archers. And the standard is that of a champion, and they're playing like the defending champs today.
Aside from the leadership, just a little bit of translation. The Utah Archers love to use basketball references. Kobe, what number was Kobe the last time he wore a jersey?
24.
That's the 2-4 set off the faceoff that I alluded to earlier.
Gotcha. Yeah, I spent some time with Tom Schreiber, about an hour yesterday, and sat down and did a feature with him that will pop later in the season, and we spoke off camera for a while. I'm so impressed with the way that he's matured and become such a central piece from a leadership perspective of this team. And he's really just living in the moment now, which is great to see because the pressure's off. He's got the PLL championship. He's got the world championships. He's got all these MVPs. He's 32 years old right now, and you just feel like a sense of calm around him, right? He wants to be in the moment. And that's the biggest thing. There's nothing weighing on him anymore.
Beside being a father of 2.
Well, yeah, good luck sleeping during the week.
The beauty of this league is we get to see the elite athletes now competing into their 30s. That never existed 20 years ago. And to see the excellence that he can create on the field now is super special for fans.
Skip pass through, but it's a tough angle. And shot from Ryan Conrad goes high.
There's no reason to think Quint, Tom Schreiber, the way that he's taking care of himself physically at 32, he can't play to 36.
Pushing the boundaries, gets better and better every year.
Sowers shot deflected, goes wide. It'll stay with the Dogs. I think it's even more remarkable, though, because you think about all the great young talent that came into this league this year via the draft. Every year that's happening, and yet Schreiber's still able to keep those young bucks at bay. We only have 8 teams and limited rosters.
I think this is the best class that's come into professional lacrosse ever. And we're going to see a bunch of them this week, from first draft pick Brennan O'Neill to Connor Schellenberger to Pat Cavanaugh to Liam Mentman. But the fact of the matter is Tom Schreiber's foundation and the way that he built his game at such a young age, being so two-handed, and having a father in Doug who was an All-American that dissected the game with him every single time that he played. His foundation was just stronger than everyone's. And then he continues to keep himself in top shape, and he loves the game of lacrosse, so you're not going to catch him.
Fields now gets a shorty on him because of the pick, and he's drawing a lot of attention.
Flag down.
Yeah, flag. Fields underneath the defense and couldn't quite hang on to it, though, to get a shot off. Waterdogs touch up. Let's get the call.
Yeah, too many men on defense.
Waterdogs foul number 15. Waterdogs foul number 15, 30-second technical, offsides.
Offsides, too many men, bird of a similar feather. Similar feather, same feather? Birds of
You're
a feather.
asking a Syracuse guy. You went to Princeton. Did you
Birds
take
of a feather
literature
flock
there?
together. We all don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Didn't you and Matt Strebel sit down in some literature class and figure all these things out? Right? It's not just about unicorns, Matt Strebel.
I'm notorious for mixing and matching cliches.
The metaphors. It's all good. We'll figure it out eventually. We got a full season to go. Power play for the Archers. Step down. Schreiber forgot the ball this time, though. Still battling for the loose ball, though, picked up by the Dogs. So they'll be able to work off this man down, and Sowers is going to wait for the offensive substitutions to come in.
And Schreiber's upset with himself. He anticipated that shot and kind of started his shooting motion before securing the pass. Good anticipation, just the execution there was a hair off.
Caraway looking to dodge, still 23 to shoot, so plenty of time. Skips to the far side, the bounce shot, Dobson comes over. Rebound though, goes to the Dogs, and they score.
McCardle's shaken up after the goal.
Might be
Or was that-
Walker,
I'm
too.
sorry, it was
I think
Walker.
it's-
Yeah, Walker, my apologies.
Great reaction to the initial save.
I thought this was a high-level pass by Caraway with the skip, but Dobson once again, Ryan.
His pipe-to-pipe movement. There's the skip pass by Caraway. Walker tracks it down. And it takes an awkward hit there at the end of the play.
What a stop.
Square to every shooter.
Looks like he got hit from behind on this rebound. That's Woodward, the rookie, coming in. Don't look now, but the Dogs have scored 3 straight.
I was just thinking that. It's almost like a sleepily way to get back into this game. 12-7 doesn't look so bad all of a sudden.
Yeah, look at Ethan Walker, who played for Bill Tierney at Denver. Quint, you mentioned square to the shooters. Elaborate on that.
I mean, the qualities you want to show as a pro goalie, that poise, that patience, and that steady mind. But the hips and the shoulders and the knees square to every shooter. He's moving pipe to pipe, as you said, but with great balance and minimal movement. So he's never off balance, and he's not guessing. He's tracking the ball with his eyes in that top hand. This is a clinic-like performance today, as good as you'll see.
Kelly with the bouncer. Dobson makes that save.
There's no net.
He brings a calmness to that position, Quint, that I think you don't see across the league.
Good size, but really mobile and bouncy for his size. He kind of reminds me of a John Galloway in terms of the angle play, but he's bigger.
Yes.
And so the windows are small.
And to Quint's point, when you're square to the shooter, there's no black net to look at. That's the hardest thing for an offensive player, to square down a big goalie like this.
Watch out here, far side. Thought we might get a 2-point rip. Instead, it's to McCardle behind the cage.
Player down.
And a goal for the Waterdogs. That's 4 straight. This time Sowers beats Dobson. And just like that, we got us a game here in the final minute of the third quarter.
Ethan Walker goes down with the injury. The luxury of the Waterdogs is, as we see the big hit. Oh, yeah, he got
high,
too. Yeah.
That's a
Officials
no-brainer.
missed that one.
But you insert Matt Brandow, the all-time leading scorer in Ivy League history. You basically just have another quarterback.
Yes, and the flexibility of this unit is McCardle's a lefty, so he can flex and go to that left spot where Walker was, and now you have a behind-the presence with a guy like Matt Brandow, who put up video game type passing numbers from an assist perspective. His eyes are always up. There were games where he had 9, 10 assists in a game, breaking records.
Loose ball hold on the Archers. Will give the ball to Waterdogs.
And this is where you want to start the possession if you have 32 seconds, right here. Sowers goes up the ladder to pick up the pass. Waterdogs carrying a lot of momentum into the fourth quarter. Dobson, though, shuts the door on him. 18 saves now through 3 quarters for Dobson. 15 seconds for Piper Bond. Ward makes the save.
Wow.
He's made a couple of outstanding
Yes.
saves in this third quarter.
He needed that one. You know, Ryan alluded to it earlier. The Waterdogs were going to go on a run, and that is 4 straight by the men in purple.
And that's after the Archers scored 3 points in 30 seconds. It looked like they were going to close the door on the Waterdogs. Sowers and company said, not so fast. We're not done yet. The 2022 champs making a run to make this one very interesting heading to the fourth quarter. We'll be back for the fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC stations. $12-8 our scores. We start the fourth. You're watching the PLL on ESPN, presented by Ticketmaster. Jake Carraway talking about the shot at the end of the game last year. First, there was the Schreiber shot to give Utah the lead, and in the final seconds, Carraway robbed by Brett Dobson on a 2-point shot.
And that's the sad reality of being a high-level athlete.
Yes.
Is like you think the losses haunt you way more than you remember the wins.
It was the right shot.
Yeah.
It was an incredible save. And everyone remembers that Schreiber game winner. But the Dobson save,
Right.
second-year pro at the time.
Off his plastic.
Yes.
Imagine
And it
if-
was a wet surface,
Right.
too. That ball was humming.
Imagine if Carraway makes that shot, and we're talking about the Waterdogs, a 2-time defending champ, with Carraway scoring a goal for the ages. Wasn't to be. And Schreiber's trying to make it so it isn't today either, but Ward is playing much better in the second half. Now this is a big ground ball. O'Keefe trying to pick it up. Scarponi is the one who gets it, though. Scarpella, rather.
Something's off with Ward's stick, though. He's had a couple clean saves that normally lead to transition. His outlet passes just have been just off the mark. That one looked like it got stuck in his stick a little bit, Quint.
They've been in the dirt.
Yeah.
It's either clipping off his shooting strings or hitting the plastic up top.
Kelly had a step on his defender. Jump shot goes high.
What's interesting here, too, is the Waterdogs have the stretch shooters to close this gap. This is a 2-possession game right now. You have 2-point threats like Connor Kelly.
McCardle jumping. Flag thrown. Dobson makes the save. Race for the ball on the sideline. And we'll get the call here from Matty Palin.
Yes, slash 20. Archer's penalty number 20. 1 minute, slash.
Slashing call going to go against Wires.
That's the right call.
Right in the
It was
head.
right in the side of his head,
Right
yeah.
in the noggin.
And suddenly the Utah's not doing the little things, whether it's ground ball play, whether it's staying out of the penalty box. It was Tommy Schreiber who got all over the team during that last stoppage, say we've got to do the little things to finish this game. He said, don't be nervous. Sprint on and off the field, do the little things.
And this is where you got to be mindful of Kelly, 40, and Carraway, 19 from range.
Philly 1 for 2 on the power play so far today. That is a terrible unforced error. If it goes that way, it doesn't. But Carraway now runs after it, and there's a lot less time on this power play. Sowers from X to McCardle. Back to Sowers. Here's Walker. His pass is deflected. Robbins deflects it out of bounds.
And if you're the Waterdogs, you have to maximize these opportunities. You're playing against the Utah Archers that have 4 different players on the man down compared to last year, with all the new faces defensively.
McCardle picks up the deflection. Beautiful catch by Kelly and buries it.
This was all set up by Eli Gobrecht. He's not going to get any credit for this except for us in the broadcast booth. This was going to be a turnover, and over and back. And Gobrecht gooses the ball forward to maintain that possession. That affords them the extra opportunity, and off of kind of a scramble play, beautiful cut by Kelly and a feed by McCardle, but credit Gobrecht for staying with that play and basically erasing a mistake by the Waterdogs offensively.
What a one-handed finish.
I love the cut.
Yeah.
I love the cut because that ball rainbows into the corner and all the defensive personnel turn and look at the shot. and that's when Connor cuts when they can't see him.
And he cuts after being the shooter too, Quint, so he didn't give up on it.
They got a good chunk of that shot and just lobs into the corner, and everyone's eyes are on the ball.
5-0 run and possession off the face-off.
And does that wake up McCardle? As much as attention we've talked about Sowers, McCardle led this team in points last year.
You can feel it now. You feel the momentum has shifted.
Shot goal by the Dogs. That's 6 in a row. Caraway with a foot inside that 2-point line, so it'll just be a 1-point goal, but still they creep ever so closer. Now down just 2.
On a Sunday in late September, championship weekend, the final shot was in the stick of 19 in purple. It didn't go his way. You heard from him moments ago in that interview how it haunted him. He's back for redemption, staring down the same goalie who owned him the last time. This time, Caraway pounds it.
There's a beautiful little slip pick by McConvey there. That confused the Archers defensively. And just way too much airspace for Caraway. Almost like a 3-point shooter in basketball. You got to get up on his hands. If he's got that kind of space, he's going to let it fly. He's never met a shot he doesn't like.
And the bottom line here is Dobson was incredible for 3 quarters. But make no mistake about it. This Archers defense is almost brand new. Outside of Jeffries, there's no starters returning.
Fields trying to back his defender down. Now gets a Leclerc pick. He's on the shorty. Tough angle. Amon, that was a pass. Good look, and Amon's shot goes wide. Moore with a good look to Amon on the far side. Hey, next weekend the PLL rolls into Charlotte. 2 games Friday, 2 on Saturday. Our feature game is Saturday at 5. ESPN 2, it's Maryland taking on Boston. And don't forget, all PLL games, every one can be seen streaming live on ESPN+.
Something is wrong with Dylan Ward's stick. Even that simple exchange was a bit of an adventure.
He even knows it, too. You can tell by his body language.
Every time, yeah, every time. Loving the Waterdogs' body language and the connections and the communication from player to player. This team has come out of their slumber.
Sowers on the shorty. Trying to get free from Marr and couldn't do it. Dobson that time back to the way he was in the first 3 quarters of this game with the save.
That was just a heat check shot by Caraway. Didn't love that attempt. This Waterdogs run has really started with their defense. Quality stops, quality saves has allowed them to get in the rhythm offensively.
12-minute scoreless drought for the Archers. Schreiber rolls, gets a pick. Now he's on the shorty. Tried to dish it back to Leclerc. Leclerc comes and gets it. Richard. 2 big fellas that time. Now Richard on the defensive end, but a player gets free. That time it was Ambler. Shot was deflected. Shot. Dobson with the save. Back and forth we go. Purple jerseys all over the turf here at Albany.
Walker again, 57 in purple, is taking a beating.
That was after Rylan Reese took that shot on the backside. Yeah, Reese got hit on Ambler's follow-through on that last shot. No, he's still in 17 in purple, so that's good to see. Walker's just getting banged up all game long at every turn. I mean, it's become a really physical matchup, as you might expect between these 2 teams, last 2 champions in this league. Amon over the shoulder.
They're still not sliding to him. He's got Scarpello again. He beat him for 2 goals in the first quarter. They're not showing to Grant Amon.
Well, Scarpello did a better job of kind of forcing him upfield, eliminating that underneath move.
Moore, just 4 to shoot. Good look inside. O'Keefe, can he get a shot off? No. Oh, it just went in the air, though. It almost went in. That would have counted.
Nobody saw it. It looped up in the air and hit the goaltender in the left shoulder. I'll tell you, fatigue is a factor now, Cotter. Look at these players jogging off the field. The defensive personnel in this game on both teams on a hot day are starting to show fatigue.
It is a warm day, and these two teams have been going at it all day. Take another look at this in the game flow on the left-hand side.
Dylan Ward has
had no
clue.
idea, and that was out of the stick before the horn sounded for the shot clock. That would have counted. Kelly thought about stepping down. Instead, he gets it to the near side here to Walker. Sowers, you see the quickness. Shoots the bouncer. Dobson didn't see it at first, but luckily for him, Bond did. Here come the Archers. Piper Bond, no one slides to him. Now they do, and it's picked off.
It's a good slow play by Waterdogs.
Courier back up top. Witcher has a goal earlier. Back to his left. He scores!
Ouch! He popped it. He popped that one, Boyle.
Wow.
Defense to offense. Arguably the best two-way guy, Witcher. He's so hard to beat defensively, and then he'll feast on offensive midfielders trapped on defense. You're on the wrong side of the field, I'm going at you, and I'm burying it. Second of the day for Witcher in transition. Dogs have cut this to 1.
Under 6 minutes to play in this one, Waterdogs have fought their way back. It was 12-4 midway through the third quarter. They were trailing in this game.
Dylan Ward started making saves. 7-0 run. Ball is humming. Teammates are involved. Desperation mode. Follow up your shot, Connor Kelly. Make it pay. Caraway stretches the defense. And this offense is feeling it, and this might be the goal of the game in terms of Matt Witcher, what he's able to do, the right to left split. You couldn't solve Brett Dobson for 3 quarters. You go offside to the top shelf, and that ball was humming.
You knew they were going to make a run. There's just too much experience, too much veteran leadership, too much battle-tested games that they've been in.
And yet Sisselberger continues to own the faceoff dot. 22 of 25 on the day.
He's been dominant. Brett Dobson's been dominant. So where are they finding their possessions, the Waterdogs? It's the turnovers by the Utah Archers. 22 turnovers. Philly only 7.
And this long scoring drought. Can Amon, who had a hat trick in the first half, break the drought? Double team comes. Now we need some help. Ball is dislodged. Moore trying to pick it up. Shot clock violation.
Scarpello chopping wood.
Now here he is with the ball in his cross. 23 turnovers now on the day for Utah. Waterdogs can tie this game or take the lead. It's possible. Walker. That's Brandow, the rook. Over to the near side. McConvey, he shoots. Dobson with the save. Wires on the move. Batesy wants to talk things over, calls a timeout. Career high 20 saves for Brett Dobson. His Archers trying to hang on. It was 12-4 in the third. It's 12-11 right now. We'll step away for 30 seconds. We'll be right back. And the sunscreen, hopefully, as well. It is a hot one out there. Not a cloud in the sky here either. So here we go. It has been a long drought for Utah. It was an 8-point advantage. Now it's down to just 1 for the defending champs. Schreiber. Slide comes. Look at Schreiber working with a shoulder under the defense. Now he's in a little bit of trouble as Goldbrick comes out to meet him. Shot clock at 15 for LeClaire. Beats his man. Bounce shot off the pipe. Ward made the save. The rebound goes off the pipe. We get it in the crease. We're going the other way.
We might get a challenge flag. I thought the ball potentially skimmed the black net. I'm sure the Archers are taking a look at that. I saw Bates with the challenge flag ready.
He's got it in his hand. He's got it in his hand. Will he throw it?
I thought it hit the crossbar. I'm standing at the 5-yard line off a goal line extended. I thought it kind of chicken wing off Dylan Ward and hit the crossbar.
Bates has got his green pen in one hand and his red flag in the other. Now he decides to throw it. So we will take a look. Coach's challenge on that last shot.
iPad's overheating on the sideline, so he did not get confirmation from the bench. Intense heat, the iPad is kind of locked up.
I guess you figure at this point, at 2.5 left in this game.
At the very least, you're giving your defense a rest.
Yeah.
Right? Why not challenge?
That's a good point.
And you put yourself in a position to defend their knowns.
Real time or game time?
So let's take a look. Here it is. Here's the shot. Ward makes the save first, but it deflects off of him, and right there hits the crossbar.
Doesn't break the goal line after the shot.
This will be a better shot, we think. No.
Dylan telling me it hit him in the throat guard. I asked him if he heard it hit the pipe. He said no, but I heard it hit my throat guard.
The ball has to completely cross the goal line. It doesn't on the rebound after it hits the pipe, and it doesn't before. They're not overturning this.
Yeah, I think the black net that I saw move, you'll see it hits a crossbar. Watch, he's going to actually make contact with the net with his stick.
The butt end
after
or the
play,
head?
and that's the black net that I saw move.
You won't see it on this one.
No.
New Balance likes that shot.
Quint, you're spot on. It hit the crossbar, and then I think afterwards, the butt end of his stick hits the net, and that's the flutter of the black net that I saw.
Dylan Ward with 1 save and 9 goals allowed in the first half. 7 saves and 3 goals allowed in the second. Utah on an 18-minute scoreless streak in this game. This has been really a tale of the first 3 quarters where Utah was unstoppable offensively, and then this fourth quarter, really second half of the third and into this fourth quarter where they can't solve Ward.
And you've seen defensively, they're double teams. When they come, it's heavy pressure, heavy stick checks, making the Archers retreat. Then they can't kind of exploit those double teams with skip passes and the like.
Let me remind everybody, Game 6 of the NHL Eastern Conference Finals tonight on ABC. Panthers and Rangers at 8 o'clock Eastern. Florida leads that series 3-2. More than one person playing this weekend is very interested in what the Blue Shirts do. A lot of Rangers fans.
Talking about the Kavanaughs?
Kavanaughs, yeah. You got Xander Dixon. Xander Dixon's been a Ranger fan. Take another look at this.
Yeah,
that's not going to give you, that's just a foot.
Yeah, intense sunlight makes it difficult to see these replays.
This is going to be the one right here.
Dives under the hood and using the Gatorade towel.
I don't even think it's close.
Right, I think it just hits that crossbar and bounces out. Matty Palom looking at it intently, though, over on the replay monitor with Rachel DeCecco.
But what's interesting, too, is you obviously have the stoppage. Bates throws the challenge flag. This is giving the Philadelphia Waterdogs so much time to figure out how they want to attack this defense, and they've been on a roll. So
I like the break for a defense, though, Carr, because I think both of these defenses are starting to feel it physically.
One more look, and Q, you were making that point already before, as when you were watching players run off, that's when you really get a sense of it down there by the substitution box.
Your D-middies are the most taxed athletes on the field. They're one of the most taxed athletes in sports, honestly.
I would agree. If you put the GPS and you track it, right, there's nobody on a lacrosse field who runs more than a short stick D-midi.
During the previous possession, there was a challenge by the Archers that a goal was scored. Goal was not scored. Waterdogs ball.
Waterdogs also retain that timeout now that they wanted to take anyway.
Yep.
And despite the hot day, Conrad would be the guy from a Waterdogs perspective, from a conditioning. He never runs out of gas.
No.
Whoa!
Whoa, what a check. So all that time, is that Connor Marr?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, the short stick defensive midfielder just took Ryan Conrad's candy.
And it's the first cost turnover of the fourth quarter, and what a time to have it for the Archers.
Just lifted the back of his pocket, and the ball just popped out.
Critical for Archers to get this to 2, given all the threats that Waterdogs have from deep range. You really want to stretch this.
And you have Sisselberger, who's almost automatic winning faceoffs today. So if you get this goal, it's going to be a make it, take it.
Moore couldn't handle the pass. Goose forward. Tracked down by Archers, but they got to work this one. 5 seconds to shoot. O'Keefe tried to get it in a desperation pass to Amen. It goes wide. 25th turnover of the day for the Archers.
That's the best place to turn the ball over, though, because you get your personnel on to defend.
Final minute almost of this fourth quarter. Waterdogs were down 12-4 in the third quarter. They fought all the way back to make it a 1-point game. Timeout called by Bill Tierney. 1 minute on the dot and 37 seconds to shoot for the Waterdogs.
And just one bit of clarity, because I want to correct myself. The Waterdogs got charged with that timeout before the Archers challenge, so that is their final timeout.
And that last possession offensively, you saw Ryan Conrad start with the ball. I think if you're the Waterdogs, you got a fresh, you're working with almost like a fresh shot clock. You got to get the ball in the stick of Michael Sowers. Allow him to generate the offense, because he will draw a slide. I would expect maybe Sowers from behind the goal eventually with a pick coming to him. There could be a switch opportunity with him on a short stick, and if Sowers gets on a short stick, they were going to slide to him immediately.
Yeah, he loves that high wing so that he can go underneath and then bounce behind. Looks like they're going to start with the ball in Connor Kelly's stick.
What's going on, Q? What should we expect to see? We'll check in with Q in a bit.
Sorry about that, guys. A seal for Kieran McCardle. Translate to America, a seal for Kieran McCardle.
Up top to Kelly. Here's McCardle right here. He shoots. It's deflected. Never got on goal.
They wanted him to have that shooting opportunity to seal, to give him more space.
Look
So
at
when
the
he caught
battle
that
for this
pass,
loose ball. McCardle comes out of there with it. Going to get a call against Bond. Kelly, he's going to shoot it. That's deflected as well. And he'll go out of bounds, but we're going to get a call here against the Archers with 33.3 remaining. Matty Palin, what do we got?
Fouls on Archers, number 54, 30-second technical hold.
And that was a heads-up play by Walker, just letting that ball go out of bounds so they could get right on the power play as we take one more look at this clear hold by Bond.
No brainer. And to your point, Ryan, when Walker decides to do that with the ball, you have 33 seconds left on the game clock, 30 seconds on the penalty, essentially the same. By the time Utah will bring their defender on, it will be close to 0. So for all intents and purposes, you are on the power play until the end of regulation.
Dogs 2 for 3 on the power play today. Up top, step down. Dauber with the save. His biggest save of the day, and he's had a lot of them, 21 of them. Empty net. Ward, now they want to go quickly the other way. They're going to get a chance here. Walker, he shoots. Thompson with the save. Another opportunity, doesn't get through. Clock goes to 0-0. That is a wild final 10 seconds in this game. 22 saves for Brett Thompson, and the last 2 saves were unbelievable.
Wow. He dominated this game in the beginning stages through 3 quarters and then makes 2 jaw-dropping stops. Just like last year in September in Philly, Brett Thompson closed the door and said, not today.
Utah scoreless in the last 20 minutes and 44 seconds, but they still get the win. The defending champs, 12-11, the final. For Paul Carcaterra, Quint Kessenich, and Boyle, I'm Chris Cotter. Thanks for watching the PLL on ESPN.